Hello and
Hello.
welcome, lovely Sarah, to my virtual sofa on this gorgeous Tuesday morning. So, thank you so much for being here. And this is the first time that we have properly connected with one another. So, I'm so excited to get to learn more about you and your journey. But if you could just give us a little intro just to begin with, Sarah, that would be amazing.
Okay. I'm 60 years old. I've been a business analyst and I've been in various tech roles for about 35 years.
Wow.
Um, and I'm now retraining to be a hypnotherapist. So that's as a result of a really long healing journey, difficult start in life, lots to heal, lots of trauma to sort through. But I'm in a really good place now. So I'm turning it around and I'm going to aim to help other people.
Gorgeous. I love that. And what a change from working in business and tech. So have you left that world completely and then come in to do this journey?
Yeah, the trouble is, the tech industry has really gone down the pan. It really has. And I'm not surprised, and I understand that. And having chance to step back and look at it, there's been so many failed software projects, so much loss of confidence in the process in software, and I think also employment is poor at the moment, and you don't get good projects going and completed and successful without really good ties between people. And I think a lot of that, society as a whole, that is tending to become a bit threadbare as well. So that your chances of success have just like nosedived in the last 5 years. The days are gone when we used to sit in a room and program all day and turn out software. Those days are gone. It just doesn't happen now. It's more about the people, and people are struggling. So it's a lot of effort. And so people don't want to spend the money, and they
Mm,
haven't got the money on big software projects, which is where I'm really usually placed.
mm.
So yes, I'm not surprised, but it's been good to get out of it and just take a step back, really.
Yeah, I bet when it's a shame, isn't it? And especially when you've been in an industry for such a long time to then see the changes and not in a positive light. So, what was the pivotal moment where you went, right, enough with this? I'm gonna step out, I'm gonna go and do my own thing. What was the pivotal moment for you?
I had three or four, maybe five or six actually, contracts that were very well paid because contracting is well paid because you come in on a day rate and then you stay
Yeah.
for 3 months or 6 months. And I got fed up with being treated badly, really.
Mm,
So a lot of passive aggressive behavior. And, when you're there to actually manage a software project, it's essentially a change project. So
mm,
you're changing people. You're not just installing software and disappearing.
yeah.
It's the people that use the software every day, and that is the most difficult interface. And again, companies don't really understand the role that the business analyst has. They think that you're there to just jump in, sort everything out because they're paying you shed loads of money, and when in actual fact they're not. And then you go away again, and that's not really how it works. As a business analyst, you can't be there to fix their organizational problems, and software won't do that for you either. So you're in a really difficult position, and I got fed up with being blamed, um, treated badly. I mean, I walked out of two jobs like
Right.
that, just like, no, I'm done. Because I don't do being badly treated anymore. And it has got worse. So I had two or three of those and thought, wait, what?
Yeah.
Stop. So I stopped in about March this year.
Yeah, good on you. And when you have been doing that kind of inner work and the healing journey that you've been on, those boundaries and those standards just become a non-negotiable, don't they? And it's like, no, absolutely
Absolutely.
not. This is not acceptable. Yeah.
And they
Oh,
need to, because you need to signal to the universe
mm.
that you are a priority. You
Yeah.
can't say, yeah, I want this, I want that, I want the best, I want the best. You got to do the best for yourself.
Yeah, 100%. Because otherwise, we're giving the signal that, oh, I'll settle for this. It's okay. It's not
Absolutely.
okay. Not okay at all. Okay, brilliant. So, what a journey. So, tell me a little bit more about like the healing side then. What sort of started the interest in healing or your personal healing journey? When did that begin?
Okay. Well, I've had chronic illnesses as long as I can remember, certainly preschool. And my father died when I was 3.5, and I was the youngest of four siblings. Um, and my mum was, in fact, what we would now call a narcissist. She was very difficult, very violent, very unpredictable, really, really difficult. So I had a lot to deal with even from the age of 3, and my dad was probably the better parent. So lots of trauma.
Yeah.
So I had chronic illnesses which occur, hay fever, eczema, asthma, migraines, that kind of thing. And as you go through life, as you say, I didn't want to settle for a kind of, I wanted to excel and I wanted to be, I suppose, ambitious. It comes out as ambition when you're younger, and I want to be the best and do the best that I can for me and for everybody. But the chronic illnesses and the pain and the issues got in the way of that.
Mm.
So it really started when I was 20, and I'd left home, I'd gone to university. I'd had a year out and then I'd gone to university, and it was what we'd call a Pentecostal church. So it's one of those happy, clappy ones, but they were very big on healing, very big. Everybody was a healer. Everybody laid hands on people. If somebody had an issue, you were right there. Their prayer support groups. It was actually awesome. Now I look back, you don't appreciate it at the time, really, do
Yeah.
you?
Cool.
And a lady came up to me. She was only she was a year younger than me. She was a proper psychic healer, and she came up to me and she said, God's told me that you've got really bad eczema and that it's time for that to be sorted. We need to start healing that. And she said, I've never actually seen your eczema, but that's what I'm getting. So what do you say? And I showed her my hands, and because I could hide it, I learned to hide it. And all my hands were bleeding and cracked and sore. And she went, oh, God, right. And she directed me to another lady in the church who was actually what I now know to be an expert in what we call rewind technique,
Okay.
which is revisiting a trauma incident very carefully, very, very carefully, because it's dynamite, as an observer. So there were two issues of actual sexual assault by my mum's boyfriend, which were kind of key to be sorted out at that time. You never know, things come up in different orders. What I thought was priority wasn't. I just wanted to be physically healed. But the journey was much longer than that. And she took me through these instances. The flashbacks stopped. The I'm not good enough. The I'm dirty. There's an undercurrent of there's something with me.
Yeah.
Survivors of SA will totally understand that. And I was blown away that the fact that something could be healed. I'd never met a healer before. I didn't know how healing happened. And this was an older lady, and she worked with troubled teenage girls. She was worth her weight in gold.
Mm.
And again, I didn't appreciate it at the time. It's just what Edna did. She had all of us. And the first thing when I rang her up and said, Martha said, I need to come and talk to you, she went, oh, not another one. She treats so many girls that have been abused in that way. And I didn't even know what it was called then. It was just
Yeah.
these instances that made me feel sick. You haven't got the language when it happened when I was about 4 or 5. You haven't got the language then. You don't know what's happening to you. But she explained to me what it was. Yes, you've been sexually assaulted. Um, and she dealt with it, and it was done. It wasn't like 6 weeks of talking, and it was just done. So that was my powerful introduction to healing. And I don't think anything's ever bested that, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
And then you get onto all the other things you need to do. So look after yourself, hypnotherapy, psychotherapy, kinesiology. And then I sampled like everything as I went on. And my journey of about like 50 years or 40 years has included everything. But that is where it started, with a lovely, lovely church and a lovely couple of people.
Wow, what an introduction. I think a
It
lot
was
of
meant to be.
people, yeah, absolutely. People come into your lives at the right moment that they're meant, don't they? And I think obviously when you go through things so young, you don't know what that is and how to relate to that. So the people that then can highlight that for you, but just to beautifully eradicate that and take that away is absolutely gorgeous. I think a lot of people when they do dabble into healing, it's normally because there's been a trauma or there's been life events or something, and it's very much a gradual and yeah, can take a long time and the years of talking about it. But to find a powerful tool such as that that's just done, gone, that's fantastic. So the other
Yeah.
modalities that you then explored after that, is there anything else that stood out from those modalities or any tools that you still go back to?
Um, I do use kinesiology a little bit. but only with like a pendulum with give me yes, give me no, when
Yeah.
there's like a very clear decision. I use my tarot cards because that's self-reflective. So you learn to look in first and find out where you are at with something. I've had lots of hypnotherapy and I go back occasionally, I've had throughout 3 or 4 different courses of hypnotherapy.
Mm.
But at the moment, what I do most at home is trauma trauma release exercises, TRE. And that's because my current understanding is that trauma is trapped at high levels, emotions are trapped in the fascia
Mm.
on an energetic level.
Yeah.
And I have a lady who helps me. She's been absolutely amazing. She actually healed my knee, which everybody said, "Oh, you need your knee replacing." Didn't need my knee replacing at all, only energetically.
Yeah.
She said, "Don't worry, we'll sort that out." Chiropractic. I had a frozen shoulder. I went to my chiropractor and I said, "I've got this." The doctor says it's a frozen shoulder, and he said it's going to take 5 years, and then I might get it in the other arm.
Mm.
Obviously, a depressing prognosis. She said, "Don't be silly, it'll be gone in 6 months," and it was. So it's just awesome. Talk about setting an expectation. So I go back to my chiropractor occasionally, but I do TRE exercises at home when something has upset me and I feel something's been triggered, something's coming to the surface. And then I do my TRE exercises, and they're really helpful and they're exhausting and they help you sleep.
Mm.
So they're really good. I use Calm App for sleep as well. I do meditation, a lot of mindfulness. That's been hard, a
Yeah.
hard thing to master when you're used to survival mode, when you've survived for 20 years with very little support. And then suddenly you think, wait, life could be better. That journey, it isn't a quick one. It is a long one. I did 4 years of psychotherapy, people-centered psychotherapy,
Mm.
which brought up stuff that I didn't even know was there.
Yeah.
So different things at different times. But yeah, looking after yourself, prioritizing yourself, that's a hard habit to pick up when
Mm.
you've been in survival for so long. But yeah, I think that's the main things. And go and find help. And as you say, people come into your life
Yeah.
when you need them, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely they do. And it's, we're very fortunate that we do have so many professionals that have all of these capabilities and things that we can tap into when it feels right for us as well. But when did you know, like obviously when you're dealing with issues or when like your body's got a challenge that it's facing, obviously we go to the doctor, don't we? We know when we need to go and see a doctor because our body will push us to that. But how did you know when to go and see a more holistic practitioner?
Well, I think because of a pre-birth experience, I've always been very cynical about medical
Mm,
issues.
okay.
So I go to the doctor maybe for a diagnosis
Mm,
or some medication. I have medication for my migraines still, which are still around. But it's one thread
mm,
of the equation. So I've been to a physiotherapist about my knee, and they gave me some exercises, and it helped a little bit, but it wasn't improving. And I was in a place where I want to be well. I want to be physically well. So I kind of just was driven to look, and we've got the internet, and it's amazing. You can find people, you can find resources. It's all out there. Well, I suppose it's a kind of sometimes it's just trial and error. So
mm,
with the kinesiology, that helped with specific issues. Like I had an issue with when I was working with particular group of people, and I knew part of it was me because it always is. And I asked her for help with that, and that helped in a specific instance in a specific situation. But in general, you just got to work on yourself.
mm,
I think so. I see medicine as an idea. Like this is how I see your knee, and I say thank you for that.
mm.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take your advice, and I'm going to ask people, and I'm going to get some more help, and I'm going to ask a physio, and I'm going to seek advice from my tarot cards and other people that have had this, and then I make my own way forward. And I think that's the part that people find difficult. You've got to be responsible for your own healing.
Yeah.
You can't hand that over to the doctor and then say, well, the doctors aren't doing anything. No, they're not, because that's your job. So I
Mm,
think that's another thing that people find difficult. I mean, the whole medical idea is that they fix you,
mm,
and we're not. There's nothing wrong with us. We don't need fixing. We might need help because of what's happened to us, and it's just a learning journey.
yeah.
So yeah, it's a thread really.
Yeah. And it's blending that energetic side in with it as well, isn't it? Because the doctors, they only know how to look at our bodies, our physical bodies. They aren't trained in the energetic side. So if there's something that we've got within us or in our field that we're then manifesting in a physical way, you're right, that's on us.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like with that. Can I ask about your knee? Because I also have a very troublesome knee. What was it that helped relieve your knee pain?
Okay. That was a lady called Catherine Franks, and
Mhm.
she runs a TRE therapy business. And she's the most awesome person I've ever met, to be honest.
Oh,
She's so lovely, so kind, so gentle. So, because obviously, with my mum being the way she was, I have a problem being alone in a room with a woman with no clothes. It
yeah.
feels, but she instantly put me at ease. She's so lovely. And right from hypnotherapy, left side is timeline, right side is human relationships, current relationships, and past relationships. My right knee doesn't support me.
Okay.
It
Mm,
used to give way. It used to slip like that, and then the it would all be out of joint. I'd have to have it go to A&E and have it stretched and pulled and manipulated back. Your relationships, the people around you never supported you. That's how I saw it, the manifestation of that. And she said, there's not a physical problem with your knee, and I've got x-rays to prove it, and physiotherapy reports, and I've had injections and all that sort of thing. They help a little bit. She said what it is with the fascia. The fascia has a role in triggering the responses, the nerve responses in your knee. So when you put your knee under pressure, it's actually those tiny nerves that are
mm,
surrounded by fascia and supported by the fascia are dead. So your knee therefore has no trigger response. It has no, um, when you pick something up,
mm.
the tendons have to pull the right direction, and the muscles, they all have to work together. There's a disjoint. Again, disjoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How funny.
So it took about 18 months, and it's quite expensive, but again, you got to invest in yourself. Um, I wasn't in continued, well, yeah, pain. Yeah, you get used to pain, don't you? I was in a lot of pain, but it was this, I'm gonna fall over, I'm gonna trip, I'm gonna need to go to A&E, I can't do this, can't do that. And it's took up so much energy, which is what it needs. It needs your energy, but it
Yeah.
wasn't healing. And I went to Catherine again. She said, I'm not making any promises, but loads of people have had this and it's been fine.
Yeah.
Again, set an expectation, we can help. And even I was amazed. The last time it happened, um, I actually believe it was um, that an accident that actually reset it back in the right place. Because I went to A&E and I said, oh, I've fallen over again, my knees. And I said, I just need, the muscle relaxer thing, you can put it back. And the physiotherapist said, there's nothing wrong with your knee. I'll show you the x-rays. I'm like, okay, but that goes there and then that's all messed up. No, it's not. I'm really sorry. She got quite cross with me because I was questioning what I believed.
Mhm.
And then after that time, 6 weeks after, I had no pain, none of this slipping, none of this. I can run up and down hills. I can run up and down stairs now. And I have no pain, but it's getting the idea. I think you do need a lot of determination. It does test you, and it tests your faith to stick with it. But yeah, finding the right people is good because I
Yeah.
had absolute faith in Catherine, and I still do. I'm going to go back to her about my neck as well.
Yeah. And the correlation between, events and the physical body, that's unreal, isn't it? That it was just a really clear link for you between your
Yeah,
needs and relationships. That is unreal. I love that. Thank you for sharing all of that. Um, so you've decided to go down a journey with hypnotherapy and train in that. How did you choose? How did you choose from all those wonderful therapies and modalities? Why was it hypnotherapy that drew you in and you were like, that's what I'm going to train in?
yeah. I think because of the rewind technique,
Mm,
um, it's absolutely dynamite for things like PTSD and those one-off things. Because a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, she said when I discussed it with her, because she's on a healing journey, but she's 20 years younger than me, so she's just started her journey properly, nearly. She said, "Oh therapy doesn't work for me because I've had it before and I was in a worse state afterwards." I said, yeah, I think you better tell me about this. And the therapist forced her to go back into that memory. It was a traumatic birth memory. Her baby actually died and had to be revived. Massive trauma. Took her back into that memory and forced her to relive it. It's not what Rewind is about. And I thought, I'm not having this. We need to be out there doing it properly.
Yeah.
And I explained to her and I said, this experience and this lady, and we did this. I don't think about the instant. I can talk about it like it was putting the kettle on. It
Yeah.
really doesn't have that emotional. You shouldn't be in that state. She said it made me ill for weeks. Couldn't stop crying. I'm like, I'm surprised she put you back then. She actually said to her, we have to go back, Claire, and access those files and open them up again and see what's there. I'm like, no, no. And I talked it through with my therapist because it really upset me. And he said, no, that's not therapy. That's no, no. So I kind of got around to the idea that she was mistreated. The person didn't have the skills. But I think Rewind is so powerful that I want to learn it and I want that in my skill set. The hypnotherapy journey that I'm on at the moment began. Well, I got some guidance. I was in a meditation group which I helped to run with my local spiritualist church, and um, I had a vision of a fountain, and it was a fountain of words. And I put my hand into the fountain of words, and I picked out all these words. And hypnotherapy is about that. It's about hypnotic suggestions and picking the right words. And when someone has a trauma, if I was working with Claire with a birth trauma, I would say that incident in 2003 that we're looking at, you don't mention birth, you don't mention hospital, you don't mention baby, you don't mention pain. You have to really, your words are absolutely crucial. And the more skilled you are with words, I mean, I loved sitting in that vision with me, this golden and silver stream of words, and I'm just holding out. It was so beautiful. And then when I started looking into hypnotherapy training, it was about scripts and words and suggestions. I thought, that's it. That's got to be it. So I just took that as a bit of guidance.
Yeah. Beautiful. And it's very intuitive as well, isn't it? And like your
Yeah,
decision there was based on your intuition as well. Do you find it quite easy to connect into your own intuition?
I do. I find it easy with other people. Like when I read tarot cards, um, people, the people at the church that I'm part of, they say, you come alive when you read tarot cards. You're really different. I'm like, am I? Because I get really into it. Like, do you know what this? Look at this. And I get really into it because it's the cards like a mirror and they help the person look in the mirror. And it's really revealing. When it comes to myself, I find I'm second guessing myself a lot. Oh, did I really think that? No, wait, let me do it again. And it's harder for myself, but with other people, yeah, I can get the intuition. And I suppose I've always been observant because, again, when you grow up in an unsafe place, you are hyper vigilant, and that's part of it. So I suppose that's the gift from it, really. So I'm very vigilant, and I watch people very carefully, and I'm very aware. When someone walks into the room, I can tell what mood they're in, that kind of thing. So I don't really know if it's. I wouldn't call myself an empath because I don't even know what that means. But yeah, I'm observant, and I want to help somebody. If
Yeah.
somebody was there, I think, oh, what can I do here? And step back and then wait a minute, they might think, what I mean? So it sets off a process. So yeah, yeah,
It's funny, isn't it? And I think we all do that when it's ourselves, we question it so much, don't we? I know, if I'm doing tarot or oracle, the same as you, when it's for someone else, then you trust it and you trust the messages that you're getting through. And then whenever I do a reading for myself, I'm like, maybe I'll reshuffle."
yes, I do that. Just do that again.
So funny. What I've started doing now, and someone told me that it's called having, I think it's a magpie deck. I'll use two different card decks together, and
Oh,
they'll come out and they'll give me the same message, but with a different card, just to almost reassure myself. Like,
that's a
look,
great idea.
you've got two different card decks, and they've both given you the same mirrored reading, basically. And yeah, apparently it's called having a magpie
Mm.
deck.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay,
only
I
do it
didn't
when I'm reading for
mention
myself because I'm like, no, I need I need the
that.
backup and the yeah, just so I
Yeah,
know.
I sometimes shuffle and say, tell me again, tell me again.
Yeah. I know. And our guardians in spirit must be like rolling their eyes. Come on. But it is, and we all have an ego as well, don't we? That can be the louder voice in the room. That's what I always
Mm,
say to people. If it's a loud voice, it's your ego. If it's quiet, it's your intuition.
yeah, that's a good plumb line. Yeah.
Little way of knowing. So, what's your kind of your ambition now? What's your vision now moving forwards, especially with your hypnotherapy and everything? What's the plan for Sarah?
Okay. Well, I've done stage one of the hypnotherapy. The hypnotherapy school that I'm with, um, in my opinion, their teaching is quite flawed, and they don't do. I mean, there were a couple of mediums in the first course. It's an online course, and one of the trainers was very, very rude. He was very skeptical. Like it's all rubbish. Apparently, body does not keep the score, and he even had a book that said, "Here's some proof." And I'm like, no, mate, that's not healing. People are on their own journey. There are side routes and detours, but you don't trash somebody's experience and intuition and journey like that. No, so I was pretty cross with him, and I did feed that back. But they're the only one that give you the diploma online, which you have to have for your psychology membership. And they're one. I think they're the only one that does the full online course because they have to confirm that they have watched you do hypnotherapy. So it's all online and they coach. That's how they do it. And I can't afford to go away to a school or do an MSc or anything. So they're the only one. Once I've got that diploma, I'll be back to the other school, which is Uncommon Knowledge, and I'll be doing Rewind. I'll be doing smoking cessation. I'll be doing all sorts of things. So I followed them for a long, long time. So once I've got my diploma, I'll be out of there and doing the real work that I want to. So it'll be extra courses, extra money. I don't even care, but I must have that. It feels like a stick of dynamite in my hand. I must have that dynamite because trauma needs dynamite. You can't mess about with it. It's no good. If somebody's in high anxiety and constant stress, you can't just say, right, now let's take 6 weeks to chat about this. No, mate, we've got to get right to the root of it and we've got to deal with it. And it can be done. And I absolutely believe that passionately. But I've got to get this diploma first. So I've got to just suck it up for now. And that should take once my house is sold and I can pay for the course, which is going to be probably February or March. I'm going to pay for the rest of the course. I'm going to do it as quick as I can. In maybe they say 3 months, but I've done one. I've done stage one, so I can do stages two and three, get my diploma, get registered, and then go and do what I need. So it's going to be 4 or 5 months before I can properly market myself. Although you can do a sort of stress management course certificate, so you can go like into schools or businesses and say, "Here's some stress management techniques." So whatever works, it has to pay. I have to say, it does have to pay, unfortunately, because I'm not in a position to not be paid. But the universe has ways, so that's the plan.
Oh, it's so exciting. And I love that you've got the fun of gathering all your certificates and learning all the new things, and then you get to create that into something like a wonderful offering for people. That's what an exciting year it's going to
Yeah.
be. I love that for you. That's beautiful. So I'm guessing at the moment you may not have like a social media presence, as it were. But if people did want to find you, is there a way that they could perhaps follow your journey or see where you're up to with things? Not as yet.
Perfect.
Not as yet. What we'll do when you get to that point, let me know and I will put a comment on this video so that people can then discover you
Yeah.
when you're there and you're ready. People can then find you and see where you're at. That would be cool.
Yeah, I do have a website that I designed in Canva because I'm not really a creative in that way. But it's basically like a list of healing modalities to kind of help people see what's out there. So it could be that I'll try and develop that a bit further, but I think it's too complex. I think I'll need like your standard 2 or 3 pages in a diary, like Catherine Franks has it's called The Body Therapist. She's just got 2 or 3 pages and it's white and it's clean and it's really simple and there's a picture of her and she's lovely. So something like that would probably be better
Yeah.
when the time comes. Yeah, but it will need doing because all of my work will be online anyway.
Yeah, there you go.
So
And you know, at that point, you'll feel into it and you'll know exactly what to create and share with the world, which would be gorgeous. So, my last question, um, inspired by lovely Stephen Bartlett, where he asks his guests to leave a question for another guest. So
Mm.
I have one for you. Um, I love this question. It's quite a big one. All of these questions are quite deep, actually, that the other guests have left. But when did you first realize that you were destined for more?
Oh,
I know.
I'm characteristically speechless.
Mm, it's a question, isn't it?
Um, Actually,
Mm.
I think I know the answer to that. I was walking to school and I would have been about 9. And I was walking to school and I was looking at the bushes, the those yellow bushes with really bright flowers. And obviously, my life was quite miserable and really difficult. And I looked at the flowers. And my mum says I used to talk to flowers when I was a child. And I probably did because I got more sense out of them than I did anyone around me, to be honest. And I looked at the flowers and I saw beauty and I saw perfection. And at that moment, we were connected.
Mm.
And I thought, yeah, it's horrible now. Life is not comfortable or nice, but it will be. It can be. It will. I don't know how a 10-year-old actually experiences that, but I can remember walking down, going to my friend's house, and yeah, and I just felt not an anointing, that's too grand, but just a sort of, come on, we can do this. Come on, it's going to get better.
Oh,
That's wow.
oh,
Yeah.
goosebumps. It's lovely. What a
Yeah.
memory. What a,
Yeah.
oh, well, thank you so, so much. This has been lovely. And thank you for being so open and sharing your experiences as well. And I'm sure whoever hears this, there'll be something in there. They'll hear it for a reason. So thank you
Yeah.
so, so much. And I can't wait to see how your journey unfolds and what you create and yeah, get behind you when you launch that business.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, my lovely. I will speak to you very soon.
Thank you.